This used to be my brother's RC crawler, but he didn't really use it enough, let alone maintain it, so he sold it to me and now I'm going to turn this thing into an epic trail truck. So I've got quite some big plans for this truck, because I was really inspired by a car I came across in my last vacation. It looked something like this, and I really want to replicate that on this car. But before we're going to start to do that, we're going to make sure this car is in perfect condition, which it currently isn't. Alright, I don't think you have to be an expert to hear that, that's pretty bad. So I'm going to give this car a full rebuild off camera, and I'll only show you the things that are actually wrong with it. And once it's fully back together, fully reassembled, we can finally start to go and modify this thing and make it look absolutely epic. Alright, I'm now almost done with rebuilding the front axle. It looks super clean, cleaner than it's probably ever been since its first drive. And now I'm at the point where I have to put the steering link back on. But as you can see, this end looks a bit rusty, a bit odd. That's because when this car was in the ownership of my brother, he snapped this end off and he didn't want to buy a new steering link, so my father welded it back on, which means it's now slightly shorter than it was before, but hopefully I can unscrew these ends a little bit and make sure the wheels are pointing straight. But yeah, we'll fiddle around with that once everything is back together. Alright, only a couple minutes later since the last shot, and I figured out something really strange. Because as you can see, this is the axle right now with the steering links and this panhard bar. Usually when a crawler has a panhard bar, it means it has 3 links connected to the chassis. Here in the rear you have 4 of these links because it doesn't have a panhard bar in the rear, obviously. But I found out that the car had 4 links on it. So that means 4 links and a panhard bar. That's pretty strange. Because if you look at photos online from the chassis, you can see there are actually always 3 links and a panhard bar, and not 4 links and a panhard bar. So I have no idea what happened here, but I think I'll go with 3 links as well, since the Jeep Cherokee I'm trying to replicate also has 3 links. So yeah, I'll do that, and then I have 1 spare, I guess. So the car's now fully rebuilt and fully cleaned, probably cleaner than it's ever been since its first drive. Now the only thing left to do to make this car driving again is putting a new motor in, because as you will have heard, the stock motor is pretty much done. So to replace that motor, I've got this motor from Injora. This motor is 550 size as well, but 21 turns instead of the 17 turns the stock motor had. So not only is this actually a functioning motor, it should also have more torque, which is obviously great for crawling. So let's put this inside the car. Alright, first of all we got to get a pinion gear from the old motor to put it onto the new one. There we go. And now let's get this motor mounting thingy out of here to get the new motor in. Alright, there we have it. Take this cover off. Right, and now the motor should just slot right in here. Well, as you can see, the pinion gear and the spur gear don't quite line up, so I got to turn the pinion around to put it on the other way. Alright, hopefully this will work. Yeah, look at that, that's better. Now we gotta screw the motor in. Right, something like that should do the trick. Now let's put everything back into the car. So I actually forgot to put this cover back on, but it doesn't really matter. I can put it on right now as well. Alright, there it is. Now I have to plug in these cables into here, but I actually do not know which one of the yellow and blue ones is the plus and the minus. But we'll just plug it in, and if the car drives in reverse, I'll know I have done it wrong. So let's get a battery and see if I connected it the right way or not. Right, connect it up. Radio on, always first the radio on. Alright, the car turns on. And yes, it actually drives forward. Perfect. Right, let's go and give this thing a little test drive. Alright. That's a lot better. Turning radius isn't great because of the locked diffs, but hey. It's so much more quiet than it was before. Maybe it's a little slower, I don't know exactly, but it's fine, it's just a crawler. Yeah, that's a successful test drive, I'd say. So that's going to be it for this video, but obviously I'm far from done with this car and I've got a lot of cool modifications planned for it, but that's going to be in the next video. So if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like, and if you want to see everything coming up with this car and everything I'm going to do with it in the future, you gotta subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Yo!